What's up guys, Style Dom here, and today we're doing another What If Naruto Was Raised by Kurama, Part 5. But before I start the video, I'm just going to say one thing. Last video, I forgot to tell everyone that I'm going to be doing videos only on Wednesdays nights. Alright, with that out of the way, let's move on. Alright, quick little recap. Naruto and Kurama were out in the woods working on a new jutsu. His gut started to growl, so he began to go back. Naruto heads back to Tazuna's house. As he walks in, he was told that food was ready. As he hears this, his gut begins to rumble. He replies with, "Great, I was just getting hungry." He then proceeds to sit at the table. "Wow, this smells great." Just as they are finishing up, Inari speaks out. "All this stupid training is just a waste of time. Gato's got a whole army. They'll beat you down and destroy you. These cool things you all say, they don't mean anything. No matter what you do, the strong always wins and the weak always lose." Naruto replies with, "Just speak for yourself. I'll be fine." Inari shouts out again, "Why don't you be quiet? Just looking at you makes me sick. You don't know anything about this country. You're just butting in, always laughing and playing around. You don't know what it's like to suffer and be treated like dirt." The last comment made Naruto absolutely furious, and instead of yelling back at him like he did in canon, Naruto instead got up from the table and walked out of the house and stormed into the woods. After a few minutes, Naruto stopped and asked Kurama if they could train some more to blow off some steam. Kurama then replied with, "Sure, do you want to practice the jutsu we have been working on?" So they stayed there all night on the jutsu. In the morning, Naruto started to sleep in, but Kurama went and woke him up. "Hey Naruto, are you gonna get up? You're gonna have to get back. You're gonna be gone soon." Naruto then jolted awake and started running back. 15 to 20 minutes earlier, back at Tazuna's house, Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura began to leave. But before they left, Kakashi asked Tazuna's daughter if Naruto shows up to send him to the bridge. So as Naruto heads to the house, something caught his eye. It was a deceased animal with weapon wounds all over it. When Naruto saw this, he went to top speed, and in minutes he had caught up with the two. But he was careful and began to stealthily sneak behind them, looking for an opening. Once they were close to the house, Naruto finally decides to just end them, and in an instant, their heads rolled off of their shoulders and onto the ground. Kurama is a little irritated that he would just waste all that time and kill them once they were close to the house. Kurama then asks him why he had killed them at that time. Naruto answers with, "I was still supposed to head back here and leave with the group, and those two would have just made us late." As he walks through the door, Naruto was greeted by Tazuna's daughter. She then told him that his team had already left. With hearing this, Naruto had sprinted out of the door he had just came through and went back into top speed. As Naruto is running, he hears a loud laughter coming from Kurama, and he would begin to tell him, "You ran all that way just so you could run all the way back to the bridge." And he began to laugh even harder than before. He just kept laughing until it started to hurt, and Naruto tries to ignore him as best as he can. Meanwhile, on the bridge, two battles are taking place. Kakashi is fighting Zabuza, and Sasuke with Haku, and Sakura thinking she's useful, but isn't. The same thing that happens in canon happens again. Sasuke gets stuck in the ice mirror jutsu, and Haku's just destroying him. He had so many noodles in him, he looks like a damn porcupine. All that Sasuke could think is too fast. He then collapses and faints, and Naruto had just got there to see him lose. Naruto just says, "Really, man? I just got here. Are you really that weak? I guess it's my turn." And Naruto is actually already inside of the Ice Mirror Jutsu, but Kurama and him had an idea. Naruto quickly uses a explosive clone to distract Haku. As the clone fought, Naruto and Kurama started to gather up chakra, and it started to change him into more like an animal, but it wasn't the chakra cloak. It was more like Kiba's and Akamaru's feral mode, but a little side effect is the more that they use it, the more Naruto looks like a wild animal, and he would permanently look more like one. This is the new jutsu that they have been working on, Fox Warrior mode. At the same time, Kakashi suddenly span around, sensing the fox's chakra, but before he could run over there, Zabuza started to attack again. Kakashi goes, "Damn it, I have to finish him off first." And he began to go all out. Back with Naruto, his body began to change. It was like he was a feral animal. His teeth began to get sharper, and his nails. He even grew ears and one tail. Keep in mind, this isn't the chakra cloak, so these tails and ears, they look real. His whiskers began to get darker, and his eyes began to go slit, and his breathing became more erratic. Naruto's strength skyrocketed. As Haku begins to retreat into one of his mirrors, Naruto let his clone explode, destroying the mirror that Haku tried to escape in, and it made Haku fly out of it. As Naruto stood there, the air around him started to heat up, melting the ice mirrors, preventing Haku from escaping. Naruto then is suddenly next to Haku, freaking Haku out. Naruto then grabbed Haku by the shoulders, pulling him towards his knee, slamming it right into Haku's mask, and shattering it. Shards of the mask went inside Haku's face, preventing anyone from recognizing who Haku was. As blood and teeth leaked out of Haku's face, he believes that he's going to be defeated by Naruto's hand. And as he looks at Naruto, he sees that Naruto is preparing for a wind attack. And Naruto began to run towards him, preparing to finish him off. But before Naruto could even hit him, he had vanished. And a few minutes before that, the same thing that happened in canon, Kakashi had called for his hounds and got Zabuza stuck and was about to kill him. But at the same time, Haku appeared out of nowhere and was stabbed, just like in canon. Naruto then ran over to where he was hearing the commotion. He was shocked to see that Haku had gotten in the way of Kakashi stabbing Zabuza and saving him. And Naruto hears that Zabuza was just using him as a tool and gets angry just in canon. And just like in canon, Naruto went and made Zabuza feel bad. And as Gato's men showed up, Zabuza turned on them and began to cut them down one by one until he finally got to Gato and he plunged him into the water. after stabbing him a few times. After he was finished and they were all dead, he collapsed onto the ground. Kakashi and them finally went over to Zabuza, and Zabuza asked Kakashi if he could move him to where Haku was. And then the same thing happens in canon, where the villagers show up at the last moment. And because of this interaction with Inari not being the same, Inari doesn't want to call the bridge the Great Naruto Bridge. What winds up happening is everyone winds up calling it the Great Kakashi Bridge. And Team 7 begins to go back to their village and turns in the mission. And I think this is where I'm going to leave off this video. Sorry everyone for not being able to make this one as long as the last one. I'm going to be making the next one just as long as I did last time, 15 minutes. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.